Absolutely. LSU has the roster talent to play with anybody, anywhere, but the model has a lot of questions about their hires they made as an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator hires. Neither one of their coordinators is called to play at the FBS level. Jake Peets was who they hired as their offensive coordinator. Durante Jones was their defensive coordinator they hire. Nothing's known about either one of those guys. So you're taking if they were able to play Alabama early, that might be a good thing because then there's not a whole lot on film of what to expect by LSU. But by that time, late in the year, Saban and his staff is going to have pegged pretty much what they're doing and what they like to do. So a little bit of that point spread projection is because it's in Tuscaloosa. But I think even if it was at LSU, I think it would be close to a toss-up. I'm not sure it would even be a toss-up at that point. LSU lost a lot of talent over the past 2 years. They have recruited well, but I know they returned their whole defensive line, and I think one of their offensive linemen hit the transfer portal this week actually. So that will go into this model update as well. It just remains to be seen how those new coordinators get their feet wet in the SEC West and how they hit the ground running there in Baton Rouge.
Well, considering everything you just said there, how close has your model got Texas A&M and LSU? Because I'm looking at it here, and it, much like I perceive it, it looks like there's a big drop after you go Alabama, A&M, LSU in the West. Is your model see it that way too, where A&M and LSU are fairly close together?
My model has A&M above LSU by about if they would play on a neutral field, A&M would be favored by almost 8. It would have just because of the coaching staff, the established coaching staff Texas A&M has, and the talent band isn't enough to really overcome that. So this is definitely, as far as power rankings is concerned, which it just basically takes into account if every one of those teams was to play at a neutral field, what would happen? I have LSU as the 5th best team in the SEC. So, and like I said, a lot of that is riding on just the unknown of their coordinators and the relative inexperience of their play calling, jumping into a conference like the SEC. So yeah, right now Texas A&M is above LSU, looking down at them right now. But we'll see how those new coordinators are able to adjust.